Hey Divas, today we're going to be playing World of Warcraft, the Burning Crusade. We're playing on a private server called Netherwing, which is part of the Stormforge servers. Stormforge has a number of different servers. They have Mists of Pandaria, Wrath of the Lich King, and TBC. I believe the Mists of Pandaria server will eventually go into Legion. Currently there's a max of around 600 to 700 players on weekends and prime time, but there's always a couple hundred people online. The server does have enough of a population for there to be dungeons and raids happening every single day. We do need more players on this server, I think, and I believe there will be more people joining as the TBC hype builds for the anniversary classic WoW servers that are progressing into TBC. I made a character that's a Journey Shaman, and I'm going to be going enhancement. XP rates are 3 times, the honor rates are 2 times, and all the other rates are 1 times. So that helps you get to end game quicker, which I appreciate. Personally, I wish the rates were higher. I'd like something more between like 5 times to 15 times. I wish the drop rates were like 2 or 3 times. That would be sick. This is the best server right now that's out for the Burning Crusade. If you know of any other servers, please do let me know. I know there's a few coming out soon, and we'll see how they perform. And you'll have to modify your leveling routes accordingly, because there's a slight faction imbalance with more players on Horde than Alliance. The Alliance has rested experience turned on at all times. You have an additional like 1.5 times experience added on to that 3 times rate, which means that it's even faster. Okay, so I jumped a bit ahead, and now I'm level 29. Server rates are ×3, so the questing is quite altered. If you're on Alliance, your XP rates are 4.5 times, so you can't really just like stay in a zone for very long, at least especially the early levels, because you just outlevel it so fast. If you follow like rested XP guides, by the time you finish the first 2 zones, the quests are all gray. Join the world channel in chat, then you can see people typing. With the release of the Burning Crusade on the Anniversary Realms, run by Blizzard, if we are going to see a decrease in players or an increase in players. There are probably some players that will leave for Burning Crusade on the Anniversary Realms, and then there are more players, I think, that will stay and continue to play in the server. They've invested time. I think overall it will generate hype for this expansion. We will see a small increase in players on the Netherwing server. Obviously, once the anniversary servers progress to Wrath of the Lich King, I think we'll see an influx of players. The Netherwing server is currently progressed to Black Temple, and the Sunwell patch is yet to be released, and that will be releasing soon. There are currently almost 600 players playing right now, and it's not even peak hours. It falls down to around 200 people in off hours. Blizzard's marketing for the Burning Crusade server makes people want to play the expansion. There are going to be an increased amount of players playing on this server leading up to the release of TBC on the Anniversary Realms that Blizzard runs, and that will be releasing, it's speculated, in mid-February of 2026. One thing to note is that Black Temple has been released, and the next patch will release Sunwell. Eventually, at a certain point, the server will cease to be popular because there is no more progression. It's only a matter of time before they open another Burning Crusade server at some point. There was another TBC server that Stormforge had called Netherwing, which is the same name as the current server. When this server stopped progressing, I don't know how long it stayed before they transitioned to the new server. They renamed the old Netherwing server to Outland. The server still exists. A handful of people that still play on that server. They'll announce a new server eventually, I'm guessing 3 to 6 months minimum from getting another server, if not longer. Also level up so quickly on this server that it's not really like that big of an investment of time. I think that changes the equation a bit in terms of whether it's worth it or not. They haven't even announced that they're going to open another server for TBC, so really, that's just all speculation. This is the server to join right now if you want to play the Burning Crusade. Server downtime is really minimal, constantly patching stuff up. There's a Discord server which is fairly active. You really see the biggest gains from questing and turning in quests. There aren't that many people leveling as well because leveling is so fast. Majority of players are at endgame. A lot of different reasons why someone would want to play on a private server over the official servers. First of all, you can have things like higher leveling rates, which I personally love. You can have custom features. The server allows for cross-faction grouping and guilds so that you can group up for content easier and play with more people. People might not like that. I think it's fine given that the population for the Burning Crusade servers is generally on the lower side. I personally haven't played on the server long enough to know whether I like the fact that you can interact with each other so much cross-faction, but I think there are benefits to it. I'm excited to see how I feel about it once I'm at endgame and I've been playing for a while. But if anyone has played in the server and has thoughts on the cross-faction, guilds, groups, being able to communicate with each other, do let us know in the comments how you feel about it. I've never played on a server like that before, but it seems like it's not that uncommon of a feature, at least in the Burning Crusade servers I've seen, but probably more generally. Other reasons why people like private servers are, of course, that they're free, unless you choose to donate, which isn't something that I personally would do, but everyone can make their own choices. This server has like a 3 times leveling boost that you could donate for, which I'm not gonna pay for. It does seem of value because leveling does take a little bit of time. I don't believe there are any ways to pay to win on this server, so I'm enjoying the authentic classic experience when it comes to itemization. Another reason why you might play in a private server is because you don't want to support the company. So it gives you a way to play the game without having to pay them money. Whatever the reason is why you play in a private server, I'm glad that private servers exist. I've been playing on WoW private servers since the game came out. Stuck to generally WoW Vanilla and the Burning Crusade as my expansions, primarily because I think they're the best expansion when the game first started. I even think in the Burning Crusade there are some elements, obviously, that I don't love. I do prefer not having flying mounts. I do prefer being in Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor. However, the raids in the Burning Crusade and the gear is so much fun. For that reason, I'm excited to do Black Temple again, do Karazhan again. So come join me. Let's group up and do some dungeons and quests and stuff. Pretty much WoW TBC hype for me. I couldn't handle it. I was overwhelmed by the power of the marketing, and now I am playing. And you too can play right now. I actually played on the old Netherwing server, and I got my character to level 66. Shaman. I just remember personally not enjoying certain members of the community. Each time I come back and try again, I've seen a bit more shit in my life where I'm kind of less fazed by it. As many of us know, there can be some interesting folks in these servers. To be clear, retail servers are pretty much the same. So, add-ons that I'm using that work for this server include Atlas Loot, Bagnon, Bartender, Gathermate, Item Tooltip Profession icons, scrolling combat text, RXP guides, sexy map, totem timers, vendor price, wide quest log, CD Pearl, speedy auto loot, and Questy. Add-ons can be found in Stormforge's Discord under the TBC add-ons server. There's a list of add-ons supported on TBC 2.5.2, which is what the server is running, and it provides the client for you, and the install and setup instructions, which will be linked in the description. Please do sign up for the server. It's really fun to play. I want more people to play with, especially if you're silly. And thank you so much to everyone who watches the videos, likes the videos, subscribes. I appreciate each and every single one of you for making it super fun to do this. This is something I do as a hobby. If you are still here and you're enjoying this content, please follow me. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye. So we're looking for Captain Hallandor, and we have to enter the ship through the broken mast. So I don't really know about boats. I'm more of a singer. Not sure what a mast is. I think it's that tall thing right there. Enter through the mast. I'm gonna guess that's right here. Maybe? I'm in the mast, yo. I'm in the mast, I think. What's a mast?